Hi everyone, I'm Achilles Hero and welcome to another video. In this video we'll be looking back at my performance in last month's Colossal Nightfall Cup. I know Nightfall Cup has already been and gone, and the next cup is we're about to start in a couple of days, but I wanted to look back at this because I feel like in this cup it was my best performance to date in any Silph Arena format. Even better than the cups that have actually had a cup win and swept a tourney. Purely because of the amount of highly skilled battlers that I faced in this tournament. So I wanted to show my performance, show my battles, and see some plays that I made, some plays that I could have made to even be done even better, but also some surprise movesets that I might have had that have surprised my opponent, that actually got me over the line to be able to win that match. Okay, on to our first opponent. We're up against Tuoko, a fellow Gloat lobby member. And we win the lead here. Metacham against Stunfisk, and they switch into their own Metacham. So really comfortable position. I've got Wigglytuff, going to be able to charm down the Metacham, and I also know they've got Galarian Stunfisk, so I've got the Pokemon all ready to counter their team. I'm not going to shield anything, happy to take these moves because I know I can charm down the Metacham. And they decide to reveal that they have Frostlass. So now I know not to bring in Metacham, but to bring in Galarian Stunfisk, because I know that they have their own Galarian Stunfisk in the back. And if they do switch into it, I can switch into Metacham. And not have to worry about being heavily countered by that Frostlass. And interestingly, they decided to go with a Hex Frostlass instead of a Powder Snow one. Then they bring in their Galarian Stunfisk. I decided to shield that. I didn't want to be Earthquaked. I need that Galarian Stunfisk for that Frostlass. And all the plan here is to just let Metacham do the work in countering down this Galarian Stunfisk, Ice Punching chip damage. I still would have to look out for an Earthquake from this Metacham, but they have thrown a few Rock Slides. And I end up shielding that Earthquake. Yes, I do want to shield an Earthquake, but I needed that shield for this Frostlass in the back, because this Frostlass has energy. As you can see, I tried to go for a Psychic, was unable to get there in time. In that sense, it was the right decision to go for Psychic, because it does more damage. But I needed that shield for this G-Fisk. Luckily enough though, I did farm up some energy with it, so I am able to threaten this Frostlass still. As you can see, it was one mud shot off KOing, and I'm just able to get that win in a close one. Second battle, we end up losing the lead. So I decided to switch into Shadow Victory Bell. Now I decided to switch into Shadow Victory Bell against Frostlass because you can actually win that matchup if you have a shield. I'm not sure about now though, because this tournament was before the update. In the recent Niantic update, the Razor Leaf was actually nerfed, so it is not as good as it is in this tournament. But still, shadow damage shadow damage with Razor Leaf still is really good. I decide to let Shadow Victory Bell do its work, so I shielded and Razor Leaf that down. So now that G-Fisk isn't a problem. Either Pokemon I bring in is going to be able to beat it. I decide to bring in Medicham, because if the Frostlass comes out, at least I can switch into Stunfisk. And they decide to bring in their own Medicham instead of Frostlass. I'll go for the Psychic here, hoping they don't shield, and they don't shield. So now this is, I'm in a really good spot here in this mirror match. And it's just an Ice Punch. So now I'm in a really good spot. I'm going to be able to win this mirror match. If this isn't Psychic. If this is Psychic, then I'm going to lose. I decide not to shield. I wanted that shield for G-Fisk in the back. As they bring out Frostlass, and this G-Fisk is going to be able to win this matchup. I decided to shield because they did have a bit of energy, and I needed to get rid of their shield first, and then get a Rock Slide off. So I wanted G-Fisk to have more health at the start of the battle than then going for a close match at the end. Going to be able to get to another Rock Slide, and this should be able to deal with the Frostlass. And then I only have to worry about that Medicham in the back, but I also have energy with my Medicham. So even if I don't get to this Rock Slide, Medicham was going to be able to deal with that one. And I'm able to get this Rock Slide off and take out the second battle. So even though I lost the lead, I was able to turn around with the neutral damage with Shadow Victory Bell to turn the positioning of my Pokemon into a more favourable position. I decide to at least stay in for a little bit before switching out into Shadow Victory Bell, just to get that Medicham down to half health before they can switch out. So now the Frostlass comes out. I'm happy with this. I didn't see the Galarian Stunfisk, so I am going to shield, and then I'm going to charm down some more. So this charm damage is going to do a whole heap. The Frostlass is going to be threatening against my Medicham, so if I can do some scratch damage with charm, throw a charge move, Wigglytuff has done its job. Now I decide to double shield. If they do not have G-Fisk, it's going to do really well. If they have G-Fisk in the back, now I've got switch back up that I can switch out. I decide to switch into Shadow Victory Bell, so I've got Medicham for that Stunfisk, and I am not risking losing the matchup by bringing in Medicham and their Medicham having energy and throwing a charge move. It was just safer for me to bring in Shadow Victory Bell, do scratch damage, set up Medicham to just counter down the Galarian Stunfisk. Even if they throw an Earthquake here, it's not going to KO my Medicham. Takes it down to half health, and my Medicham is going to be able to counter it down. Don't even throw an Ice Punch, there was no need to. Counters were enough. And then Medicham comes back out, and I've got energy to get to a Psychic just to finish that matchup. Even if my Medicham died, I had Wigglytuff in the back for that Medicham. Okay, for our second opponent, we're up against one of the best Australian battlers at the moment. Dean is. We're off to a good start. We win switch advantage. We've got stuck G-Fisk against Frostlass, although they do have a bit of an energy lead, so it does turn the matchup around a bit. Although my Rock Slides are going to threaten him more than what Avalanche is going to threaten me, but because I've already tanked an Avalanche, I can't tank another one. So I have to shield. I want to win this matchup. So I need to throw the Rock Slide. They're either going to shield or let their Frostlass go. They decide to double shield. So now it's going to be a race to a charge move. They are going to get to a charge move first, but I do have a shield. So I'm going to shield, and then I'm going to throw the Rock Slide, and I'm going to be able to win the match. So now we've both got 2 shields down, so we've got no shields left. So now it's going to depend on what we have in the back. And they bring out Venusaur. Made the mistake of building up to an Earthquake. I just needed to throw a Rock Slide. Needed to try to beat him to a Frenzy Plant. So I lose all that energy. And I decide to bring in Medicham. Going to be able to get to a Psychic. And they've got no shields. So it's going to KO the Venusaur. And they've got G-Fisk in the back. So I'm just going to stay in with Medicham, counter it down, throw an Ice Punch to do some scratch damage, and try to time this charge move. I'm expecting an Earthquake, and I time it perfectly. So I'm going to be able to tank this Earthquake, and I'm going to just do Charm Scratch damage. But now what I am doing is I am risking them farming up a lot of energy. So he's going to have enough to Rock Slide this Wigglytuff, and have enough energy to Earthquake my Medicham. Although, fortunately for me, I've got enough energy on my Medicham that even this Earthquake isn't going to be enough to take it out, and I'm going to be able to win this first battle. On to our second battle. Not a bad lead for me, but I do have to really land the Earthquake or get some baits here. So I do decide to shield this Frenzy Plant because I want to keep the Stunfisk healthy. So I shield, go for the Rock Slide bait. I get the shield. And they switch into Swampert, so I decide to switch out into Wigglytuff. Hoping they will build up to a Sludge Wave. I'm going to shield the expected Sludge Wave, and then I'm going to charm it down. So I'm happy to just charm down the Swampert here. If I get hit with another Sludge Wave, I'm happy with that, because I've set up the next Pokemon to deal with that Swampert. Although I make the mistake here of bringing in G-Fisk with no shields, trying to farm down that Swampert. Wrong call. I lost all that energy. I had a certain heaps of energy there, and I blew it by trying to farm down the Swampert. Really risky move. What I was thinking there is I didn't want to bring in Medicham, take out the Swampert, and then have Frostlass come out. So I tried to Mud Shot down the Swampert, but it just gets to a Hydro Cannon way too quickly, and I wasn't able to do it. So I'm going to lose this one pretty hard. Venusaur had a shield. Venusaur's going to Frenzy Plant the Medicham, and I'm going to go down. So I'll lose that one pretty hard from that really risky play of trying to Mud Shot down a Swampert. And this third battle, I lose the lead again. Gain off a bit of energy, then switch into Shadow Victory Bell. And I actually like this switch. They've brought out Frostlass. But I know that if I have a shield, I can win this matchup. So I'm going to throw the energy, make them have to shield, and then I'll shield. And then the Razor Leaf damage is going to be enough to take it out. And then I know that I don't have to worry about Frostlass countering my Medicham. and they do have G-Fist, so I've got Medicham there to deal, and they've got Venusaur. I'm happy to see that. I'm in the right position. I've got a switch advantage here because I can bring out Noctowl. If he switches to Stunfisk, I've got Medicham. I'm not going to shield. I can take a Sludge Bomb, no problem. Noctowl is tanky. Able to tank the move. They switch into Stunfisk. I switch into Medicham. Not shielding. Expecting it to be Rock Slide because they tried to use it on my Noctowl. Able to tank that. Do some counter damage. I don't shield the Earthquake. Able to shield it. I'm really only trying to shield a charge move at a low health range at this point. Scratch the damage away, trying to take out this G-Fist. They are going to get to a charge move. A Rock Slide is going to be enough to take it out. I don't want to risk it. Shield the Rock Slide, counter down the G-Fist. Use the energy that I've gained to get rid of their shield. It's very risky for them not to shield at this point, so they do shield, but I've got Noctowl all ready to go with the Sky Attack, so I automatically switch in and take out their Venusaur to win the second round. This is a good accomplishment because Dinas has actually won 6-round tournaments before, so for me to actually be able to beat an opponent like that was a good accomplishment. Okay, third round. We're up against Telegraph Train, another top battler in Australia. Got a pretty decent lead here. Gliscor against Noctowl. What I have to watch out for in this matchup is if Gliscor gets the boost. If they don't, then these Sky Attacks are going to build up, and it's a very close matchup, but I can win the lead if they don't get the boost. So I'm just going for Sky Attacks, want to get rid of the Gliscor. And they bring in Stunfisk, so I decide to bring in Shadow Victory Bell. And they bring in Venusaur. Now I can see them building up energy. They're going to go for a Frenzy Plant instead of a Sludge Bomb. So I decide to go for the surprising move in Sludge Bomb, hoping they don't shield. And they don't shield, and that Venusaur is gone. Which makes me happy, because that was the reason why I didn't decide to go with Acid Spray. Because in a matchup like that, they're not going to shoot anything. So if I have Sludge Bomb instead of Acid Spray, it's going to be more valuable, because I can actually win that matchup if I land the Sludge Bomb. And because of that, they died. They lost the match with 2 shields. So that's surprising. Sludge Bomb caught them off guard. As you can see, they were definitely trying to farm up energy with that Venusaur, but were unable to do so. And we win the lead comfortably here. We give that Lapras. Now they say switch into Gliscor. Same as the first round, we're going to bring in Noctowl. This time we see they did bring Lapras to counter the Noctowl, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. But the main thing for this is to look out for the Gliscor, because Gliscor can be a threat. I can get rid of this Gliscor early and deal with the Lapras with my Medicham, then it can do well. Going to get it off a Sky Attack. They decide to shield, so I am going to lose this matchup now. There's no point shielding. I'm not going to be able to do anything by shielding, so why bother? But at this range, I'm going to bring in Shadow Victory Bell. So I can get a few Razor Leafs off. That Lapras comes out. Now, they are trying to counter my Victory Bell with those Ice Shards. But I decide to shield. Even though it's Surf and not a super effective move, I need to keep that extra HP to get rid of the Lapras. So I've taken out the Lapras, and I know that Gliscor has no health left. As you can see, they tried bringing it in and it's gone. And now they've got Stunfisk. So Shadow Victory Bell came in very clutch, because that Razor Leaf damage added up against all three of their Pokemon. So I'm going to be able to get to a Leaf Blade. They tried farming it down, but I'm going to be able to get to this Leaf Blade. It's going to do a fair whack of damage, and as you can see, they're going to have all that energy, but they're not going to have much to do with it, because I'm just going to shield this. Any charge move they throw, I'm going to be able to survive, and comfortably, I could have just countered, but I decided to just go for the Ice Punch, guarantee you win, and take out the third round. Okay, last battle. And we win the lead, Noctowl versus Medicham. It's going to be an Ice Punch. I decide to shield it. Keep the Noctowl for later in the battle, because if that Gliscor comes out, I might need it as a neutral option. But also to threaten the Medicham, because they also have to shield as well. And they don't shield. So they decide not to shield, and that Medicham is gone. Bit of lag there, but that Medicham's gone. They decide to bring in Stunfisk. Now I bring out the Shadow Victory Bell. They bring in Gliscor to counter it. But as you can see, that Razor Leaf damage is disgusting. Even though Gliscor is a flying Pokemon, because it is part ground type, that Razor Leaf is still doing a lot of damage. Now remember that since this tournament, the Razor Leaf has been nerfed, so it might not be like this now, but during the tournament, this was how I could say broken Razor Leaf was. Right, so I do lose that matchup, but it did its job. I'm going to be able to come in with Noctowl, throw my energy. They're either going to let it go or use a shield. Either way, I'll be happy. They let it go, and G-Fist comes out. I've got Noctowl, and I've also got Medicham in the back. I wanted to keep Noctowl in, let them throw their energy, so they can't double Earthquake my Medicham. So now they're throwing their energy. I bring in Medicham, and counter down the Stunfisk. They are going to Earthquake it, but they need to get to another one to win the matchup. Doing some scratch damage. I've burned their shield. They're going to be able to take out this Medicham with another Earthquake, but I've got a Noctowl with energy. And this Sky Attack might not KO, but as you can see, it does enough damage that they can't get to a Rock Slide in time, and I'll take out the third battle. Okay, on to our fourth opponent. We're up against Fresh Dog, another highly skilled battler. And unfortunately, in this first battle, we lose the lead pretty hard. We need to switch G-Fisk out there. It's not going to win against that Swampert. I decided to switch in a Noctowl rather than switching in Shadow Victory Bell. Yes, Shadow Victory Bell would be a hard counter, wiping that Swampert out in a few seconds. But I'm expecting them to have their finger on the switch. So even if I brought it in, I was just going to get locked in. I didn't want to get locked in against a, say, Glade or a Noctowl. So I decided to go with the Noctowl, be more of a soft counter. They did bring their Stunfisk out, which isn't a good situation for Noctowl, but what I'm doing here is I'm going for Sky Attacks, just doing as much damage as I can before it goes, and also stretching out the switch clock to the point where I could switch that knockdown out and maybe bring another Pokemon in. I don't decide to do that this time though. I decide to stay in, let them burn their energy by throwing a Rock Slide. I'm not going to shield, so at least now I'm not switch locked. I've got a choice between two Pokemon. I decide to bring in Galarian Stunfisk. I'm able to just Mudshot it down, gaining up energy, building up energy, so even if this Swampert comes in, I'm going to shield this Hydro Cannon, but I can still threaten this Swampert because it still can't take an Earthquake. But I'm going for the Rock Slide bait, so I'm going to save some of my energy and I'll get the bait. Now I'm going to switch out into Shadow Victreebel. As you can see, they're really quick to switch out. Now Knockdown comes out. Exactly what I mentioned earlier in the battle, what I didn't want to happen. The only thing I can do here is pray that they do not shield this Sludge Bomb. And they don't! And that Knockdown's gone! And that turned the battle around, and I'm able to win this battle now. I'm just going to shield this Hydro Cannon. Razor Leaf is just going to knock out the Swampert, and I'll win that battle. So I purely won that battle with the Sludge Bomb surprise. If I had Acid Spray, it was GG's. Knockdown was just going to farm it down and take out that battle. I'm happy with this matchup. As you can see in my earlier rounds, I did just stay in and shield. And now they've switched into Venusaur. So my Knockdown is going to do well here. I'm not going to shield. Happy to take a Sludge Bomb. I'm just going to Wing Attack, get a Sky Attack off. Either going to burn a shield or that Venusaur is going to be out of there pretty quickly. Venusaur goes away. Now I'm expecting Frostlass to come out to counter this Knockdown. At this point, I'm not going to invest a shield in Knockdown. Knockdown has done its job by getting rid of that Venusaur, but I am going to at least use my energy so I don't lose all that energy with Frostlass using a charge move. As you can see, they're trying to bank up a lot of energy. At this point, it does have a lot of energy, so I'm thinking about, is it worth bringing Victreebel in? I decided not to. I decided to bring in Stunfisk as a third shield for say, because it can easily take an Avalanche. And so now I've at least burned some of Frostlass's energy. And they perfectly switch out in time to take that Rock Slide, but they've got Swampert. Victreebel is going to wipe that Swampert out in seconds, as you can see. So I've not only taken that Swampert out, now I've got enough for a Leaf Blade. So now that Frostlass is going to have to shield. Even though it's an Ice type, Frostlass is glassy. So they decide not even to shield because they know that they have lost that battle. So we've taken out round 4. But I'm going to show this third battle. Stunfisk versus Venusaur. Not a bad matchup, but it depends on where shield play is. Frenzy Plant is going to hit hard, but so is Earthquake, and Rock Slides, double Rock Slides still do a fair bit to Venusaur. So you see, I build up to an Earthquake and throw the Rock Slide. I don't get the bait. So now what I'm doing is just going straight for a Rock Slide because I'm not going to be able to get to another Earthquake without investing a shield, which I really don't want to invest a shield, so I'm happy to throw a double Earthquake. And build up to another Rock Slide, but they switch out. They're keeping their Venusaur for later in the battle. And they catch a Rock Slide against my G-Fist. So now I go straight for the Earthquake. Wants to get their shield. They're going to have to shield this Earthquake, but they don't. Interestingly, they decide to tank the Earthquake. Now I decide to just let mine go because this Victreebel is going to take out that G-Fisk. And now I've still got a shield. and I decide to bring in Wigglytuff against this Knockdown. The Sludge Bomb surprise wasn't going to work again. They had a shield. It wasn't worth staying in, but I'm going to bring Wigglytuff in, keep my shield up for it. They do have Venusaur. This is most likely a Sludge Bomb. So Wigglytuff isn't going to win this battle, and he's got Venusaur and Noctowl against my Shadow Victory Bell. So this is pretty much GG's. I don't have a shield. And they've still got one, so even if I get a Sludge Bomb off on that Noctowl, they're just going to shield it. So this is pretty much GG's here. Decide not even to throw a Leaf Blade. He's won the battle. No point delaying it any longer. And that is the 4th round. Okay, on to the 5th round. We're up against Dr. Trotter. A very tough match here, because a lot of pressure on the line, because we are only the 2 undefeated competitors in the tournament going into this 5th round. So whoever wins this match is going to take out a guaranteed cup win, regardless of what happens in their round 6 match. So crucial. These battles are very crucial. And I lost the lead pretty hard with a Abomasnow, and my Wigglytuff switch was countered by Galarian Stunfisk, so I'm not in a very good spot. I do have the Medicham to counter both of them. I did have to shoot the Earthquake. I want the Medicham pretty healthy to be able to counter the Abomasnow, and I find out that they have their own Medicham. Not in a great spot, because they do have shields, and I just invested a shield with that thing. I go for Psychic, they shield, in a bad spot. I'm gonna have to try to get a bait off, and also have to. I don't shield this because I felt like my only way to win this battle was to call a bait and then save a shield for a Psychic later. But they went straight for Psychic. It's a good play on behalf of Dr. Trotter. I needed to shield that, but even if I didn't, even if I did shield the Psychic, he still had a shield up on me, so he was still going to be able to win that matchup. And then I've only got Shadow Victory Bell left. I use a shield here. Try to go for a Sludge Bomb, but he's just got too much energy. Abomasnow gets to a move really quick with Powder Snow, and that's GG's for the first battle. Now I'm in a really bad spot, because I have to win this battle in order to stay in the running to win the tournament. I do get the lead, so this is a good start for me with Galarian Stunfisk against Froslass. Now I did overfarm a little bit, expecting him to switch out, but he stays in to get an Avalanche off. And now I throw the Rock Slide. Tanks the Rock Slide. I'm going to be able to get to another one, so now he's going to have to either burn a shield or let the Froslass go. So I get a shield out of him. He's got a fair bit of energy up there, so that Avalanche is going to KO from this range, and I let my Galarian Stunfisk go. Tough call, but I do decide to let it go to save my Medicham. Because I know that that Froslass is no longer going to counter it. So he's got a Abomasnow and Galarian Stunfisk. Good situation for my Medicham. I do have to shield the Earthquakes, but the Medicham is going to perform really well. So I'm going to counter down the Galarian Stunfisk. Going to shield what I think is an Earthquake, but he gets the bait in Rock Slide. So very good play. Exactly what I needed, because if he went Earthquake, he was probably going to lose the battle pretty hard, because he probably wouldn't be able to even get to a second one. And even if he did get to a second one, I was just going to shield that one. As you can see, got to an Earthquake, before he dies. Now a Bomber Snow comes out. Now here, I switch out and try to catch a Weather Ball. But it's Energy Ball. And now because it's Energy Ball, he's able to farm up a ton of energy with his Abomasnow. Now I'll bring in Medicham. I do have a move. It's going to burn his shield, but he does have a lot of energy. So it's going to be really close now. He's going to be able to get this Weather Ball off. I've just got to hope that I can still survive long enough to get a counter off. And as you can see, the animation for the counter happened, but he had 2 moves saved, and he wins that battle. So, in that point, what I should have done is not switched into Victory Bell and just stayed in with Medicham. If I stayed in with Medicham, Abomasnow might have taken too much damage, and I would have been able to take that battle. But I did decide to switch into Victory Bell. I was expecting a Weather Ball. If he did throw the Weather Ball, Shadow Victory Bell would have fainted, and it would have had Medicham ready in there pretty comfortably and win that battle. But those are the risks you take, and even with that risk, I was only 1 counter away from winning that battle, so it was very close. Dr. Trotter has won this round, so I have lost this round. I've lost the opportunity for a guaranteed cup win. In this third battle, I'm going for a bit of redemption. So I'm hoping to take this third battle to get a bit of redemption. These battles were close. I mean, that second battle I was only 1 counter away, so I tried to win this battle to show that it was a close matchup, and I didn't get swept. That's always the reason why doing the third battle is important. And I decided to shield the Avalanche to charm down the Frostlass and take this one, because I should be able to charm the Frostlass down and use a move on a Abomasnow. Abomasnow is going to shield, but I've got Medicham in there to deal with the Abomasnow, and I win that battle. And that's the end of the 5th round. So Dr. Trotter did guarantee that cup win in that round. And as you can see, I did win the 3rd round pretty comfortably. I mean the 3rd battle pretty comfortably. So if that 2nd battle worked in my favour, I might have got the cup win. But switching into the Shadow Victory Bell was a play that could have paid off. But the better, safer play might have been to stay in with Medicham and just counter down the Abomasnow. But it happens. And this is our final match in the 6th round. We're up against DJ Power. We're both on 5-1 at this point, so I've still got a chance to get a cup win in this round if Dr. Trotter had lost in this round. Unfortunately, he didn't lose. He ended up getting a 6-0 sweep. But this battle was still very important, because I could turn this into a 5-1 tournament instead of a 4-2. Which is a pretty big difference in a 6-round tournament when you think about it. So I still had a lot of pressure on the line from, it's pretty much the same amount of pressure as round 5. I need to win this round to finish off all the good work I did in the first couple of rounds. Feel like I'm in a comfortable position here. going to be able to just take the Earthquake, but now I just bring in my Galarian Sunfist just to Rock Slide it. It's at a very low health that I'm going to be able to win that by just going for a Rock Slide. So I do take the first battle, which is good, exactly what I want. I led Shadow Victreebel again. I love Shadow Victreebel as a lead against his team, but I just love Shadow Victreebel in this cup. The Razor Leaf damage was so good with that Shadow damage and that surprising Sludge Bomb. If people didn't shield, it was going to prove costly, and was a game changer. And as you seen earlier in the tournament, it did win me battles by having that Sludge Bomb instead of Athens Spray. Shadow Victreebel did the work with Razor Leaf. I decided to bring in Galarian Sunfist to tank an Earthquake. I was going to be able to take one. At this point, I go for a Rock Slide, try to get their shield, but they don't shield. So now I do end up losing that because I didn't go for the Earthquake. I thought Rock Slide might have been enough and then Mud Shot down, but they did have the energy. But now I decide to take a Rock Slide, counter, get one counter off against Galarian Stunfisk, and they bring in Wigglytuff. So now I've got Shadow Victreebel for that Wigglytuff, and they bring in Frostlass. Not the best situation for me, because that Frostlass is going to shield. They're going to get the powder. They're just going to Powder Snow the Victreebel down, and now I've got a Medicham against a Frostlass and a Wigglytuff. 2 counters to my Medicham. Not going to win from here. I do my best by trying to counter down the Frostlass to at least have energy for that Wigglytuff, but it just gets to a move too quickly, and the Avalanche is going to KO. So this is a big match now. Third battle. A potential 5-1 result is on the line. We both lead Galarian Sunfist. Now this is going to come down to who wins CMP. And I win CMP. So this interesting strat I can give to you right now is my Galarian Sunfisk isn't a good PvP IV1. It's actually a 96% IV, 15 attack Galarian Sunfisk. So the strat here is I like seeing the mirror match because pretty much 95% of the time I'm winning the CMP battles. And as you can see, I get both shields. I went straight for Earthquake. It wasn't worth me doing a Rock Slide bait. I needed to get their shields or get an Earthquake through. So I decided to double shield as well. I'm going to be able to win this CMP matchup. So I'm going to be able to get rid of their Galarian Stunfisk. But they switch out in time. So I'm happy I've got all that energy. I'm going to bring in Shadow Victreebel to Razor Leaf down the Wigglytuff. But I do decide to throw a move because I didn't want to get hit with an Ice Beam. And I want to at least have Shadow Victreebel for their Galarian Stunfisk if they decide to bring it back in, or potentially another Pokemon they have in the back, which they have Frostlass, which I'm okay with that. Razor Leaf is doing quite a bit of damage. It brings it down to under half their health. So I've got Galarian Stunfisk and Wigglytuff. Both Pokemon are still going to do well. Decided to bring in Wigglytuff as a third shield option. It's because I'm going to be able to take an Avalanche, and I'm going to be able to charm down that Frostlass. So it's going to depend on what they have in the back. Decide to bring, it's going to be Galarian Stunfisk. I just decide to switch straight in to mine. I've got energy built up, going to be able to Earthquake it and win that battle. So we get the 5-1 result. My best performance in a 6-round tournament. And as you can see in round 5, we had a chance to actually take out a 6-round tournament, which was awesome. Okay, and these are the final standings. As you can see, Dr. Trotter was victorious. Congratulations to Dr. Trotter. And I ended up coming second in the tournament, tied with 2 other competitors on 5 wins. Interestingly, a bit of information for you guys. Those ranks that the rankings that's shown up throughout my battles, they were the rankings during the tournament. So I am no longer a rival, I am a challenger. I did get boosted fairly highly after this tournament, but the rankings shown were the rankings people were at the time of the battle. So when I battled, 5 out of my 6 opponents were actually ranked in the top 20 in Australia, where I was ranked at the time in the top 40. I think I was ranked 35th or something like that. So it was very tough battles for me, because 5 out of my 6 opponents were higher ranked than I was, and they were all pretty much in the top 20. So from my opponents in round 2 to round 6 were all tough battlers. So I really had to win the leads, do some plays, think about my team composition to overcome those opponents. As you can see, I did pretty well. I ended up winning 13 battles overall. So I did sweep some people, and I always made sure that if in the battle that I lost against Dr. Trotter, I sneaked it, got a battle win off him. But I'm happy with this result, because the only person I lost to in the tournament ended up being the person who swept the tournament 6-0 in Dr. Trotter. Okay, that comes to an end of my video. I know this isn't really relevant. Nightfall Cup's pretty much over and done with, and we've got Labyrinth Cup to look forward to now. But I just wanted to get this video out there and show how good sometimes a surprise move can be, as shown with Shadow Victory Bell, and not always just using a meta move, but also just some good plays, good battles featured as well. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching.